Oh, man. All right.
Good evening and welcome to DC Funk and Harmony's tribute to the iconic DC R&B vocal group, The Choice 4. I'm Greg Diggs, your host, along with my co-host, Grover Massenberg, and tonight we're going to be spotlighting and documenting the music and the history of this dynamic group and talking to two of its remaining group members, Earl and Bobby Hamilton. So join us as we take this trip down memory lane to discuss the collaboration with the late great band McCoy and so much more. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to my co-host, Mr. Grover Massenberg.
Good evening, everybody, and let's welcome Ted Maduro, Bobby Hamilton. Bear with us if we're having a few audio problems. We're gonna still
I get a lot of feedback here.
But I worked so hard trying to get Ted and Bobby up here, so please bear with us. It's been a long time trying to get these two guys on. So we're gonna do what we can. We're gonna bear with it, and we're just gonna let everybody know about the times we witnessed. It was a musical time. It was a great time, and we all had a lot of fun listening to a lot of music in this city. These two guys came from, I would call Eastern High School the vocal factory, because so many great vocal groups came out of Eastern High School. So welcome, Ted. Welcome, Bob.
Hey. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So how you doing, guys? What's been happening with you guys?
Hey, trying to stay up cold weather. That's what I do.
Okay. And Bobby, how about yourself? How you doing?
Everything's going well. A lot of have passed, and glad to be on here today to speak to you, everybody.
Right. And we also want to pay tribute to Charles Blackman, P.D. Marshall. I want you guys to talk about your memories with these guys, and let's talk about how the group got started.
Oh, we can't go with speaking of Bruce Smith, the original member.
Oh, Bruce Smith, okay. Go ahead.
Bruce Smith.
Go ahead, Ted. How you recruited me?
Okay, this is how it all started. A little different talent groups so youth days, say in Eastern High School, and which my group was the Love Tones, and then we acquired Charles, who sang with the Stridales out of Eastern High School, and Bruce Smith at the time was going to Eastern, but Vanguard High School, but which group was called the Cardales. So the Love Tones kind of disbanded because the members going into the military, and two members were in the military. So
hold your phone still.
Try to find. Okay, I'm trying to. I'm holding my hand. That's why. Okay, two of the members, I said, had to go into the services, and so I don't think get this camera. Is that better?
We can work with
Just prop it up on something.
I got a prop. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find here. Okay, let me see what I got here. Whoa, let's see what I can do here.
Hey, go for it, brother. We just having a conversation, man. So, hey, look, no pressure. Let's just go for it.
Okay.
So, go ahead. Continue giving us some background.
Okay, I'm just trying to get this thing straight here so I can set up. There we go. Okay. I think I'm situating. Okay. Well, Petey and I were left alone to form this group, another group. So I went and I said, well, I got to find some new members here. And I said, well, get me a first tenor and another lead singer. So I went and I found Bruce Smith, who sang with the Cardales. He joined the group. So it was the three of us. At that time, that's the old Love Tones there. So, thank you. Oh, thank you. So then, we acquired Bruce Smith, so the three of us. So we needed a tenor. That's the Love Tones. That's the Stridales. It was Charles's group there. Yeah. And so Charles came into the group. I mean, yeah, we acquired Charles for Stradales because Bruce had to leave the group. And from that point on, we had changed, acquired the name. First was the Chosen Few. So that didn't set too well for us. So we renamed it the Choice Four, and it's been history since then. So there you have it.
Talk
So I
about
have a
this
question.
picture. The backstory of this picture. What's the backstory?
The next story.
Yeah, the backstory.
He's talking about
I
the
didn't hear
picture. A backstory on the picture that's showing up on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, Ted.
Okay.
This is 1970 or 71. This was this is pre-Van McCoy, and we left Washington and started touring in the country. And this shot is taken in Baltimore, Maryland, at a club called The Scene. And I believe David Ruffin was there with us that night as well. He tried to inquire the group, but we wanted to. But we had some great performances in Baltimore. It was fantastic. It became a second home for us. And so we sharpened all of our skills during that time.
So speaking of Van McCoy, he was very popular back in the disco days. Had this hit, "The Hustle," which was a big, huge disco hit. He also wrote songs for Gladys Knight and the Pips, David Ruffin, Melba Moore, Brendan Tabulation, Stacey Lattisaw. But he also was very instrumental in you all's career. So could you tell us how you met Van McCoy and what it was like to work with him?
It was fantastic. We met Van McCoy in maybe 73. Can you hear me? We met him in 73 at a club, and we done a showcase, and he came to see our show, and he liked the group. We started going up to his studio at his home, and it all started from there. And we signed up with Van, and then we went to New York, and everything started happening real fast. We recorded our first album in 1974. That album was titled The Choice 4.
Well, prior to recording that album, our first release was "I Need Your Love to Keep Me Warm," right? Which was a seasonal record, and we recorded that right here in the Washington D.C. Up of I think it was called not Sigma Sounds.
DB?
Well, it was
Something
up
like
on
that.
George Avenue. But our first release was "I Need Your Love to Keep Me Warm," and that's when we Van took it to RCA, and we signed with RCA via song there.
Yeah, you know, guys, that's when I met you guys. I met you guys that you were recording that.
All right, we used to be up there in Van's attic behind the piano. I remember you being there, Grover.
So I have a question. How much input did you all have in terms of the creative input? And like, were you involved in the writing and the production aspect, or was that all Van McCoy?
Van done pretty much all of the writing. All the songs had different writers and whatnot. But Van gave freedom with the background and the harmonies, and of course the lead. You know, he would give us a basic pattern. I think that's the normal way that people do it. They would give you the lyrics, and then you know, and prayerfully, the idea was that the artist could expand on the lyrics, you know, and make it a hit. Yeah, so that's the way that went. Mm-hmm.
So in terms of your choreography, that's something that you all did on your own. Your stage performances.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we choreographed our own. Look, as I say, I'm stepping there. That's the job that they stuck me with.
Assigned to you, yeah. Ted was the primary choreographer. But it kind of started, in a way, we were all really great dancers. So when we would do the choreography, it was easy for us, and we could do more advanced choreography because we were great dancers.
So did you guys ever do the white glove thing like the Unifics?
No, because we didn't do the white gloves because the Olympics had the white gloves.
Differ. If you look at one of those pictures of the love tones, you see we have blue shirts, white pants, and white gloves.
We're not talking about the love tones. They were tired.
So let me ask you all about like being on the road. Do you have any stories that you think will be interesting to tell us? Like something that might have happened with you guys on the road that you want to share with us?
Oh,
Well, we have it all depends. We got to keep it PG, I guess.
No, you
But
can make it whatever you
we have
want.
snowstorms and the trips on the road where the van almost went off the mountainside, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
well, what's very memorable with me is that while on the road we were performing with the Dells, and we were supposed to be, well, we were assigned to perform in, I think it was Jackson, Mississippi, and just before the show, the sheriff department came and shut it down.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Just shut it down, and I don't know exactly why they did it. I'm not gonna say it was a racial thing, but because that was going on somewhat in the deep south there, because it was a lot of people, and they just canceled. I remember that very, very clearly. Um, Another thing I remember. This is funny. We were performing in New York at a club called the It, and we were just going for it, just stepping and
We
I,
used to call it
I,
singing and dancing.
I turned around and did a move and turned around, and Bobby was on the floor. he, he had fell down, but he jumped up so fast. I mean, it was just so much fun, and it's so much nostalgic uh, um, memories going on back then. And being in New York for the first time up there, where we really captured New York at the time, especially was it the DJ's very popular DJ Bobby? What was his name?
Bobby OJ?
I forgot
No,
to.
the very
Oh,
popular DJ that was in New York
Frankie
back then.
Crocker? Frankie
Freddie,
Crocker?
Freddie Crocker.
Frankie
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. He took a liking to us, but and being on the road with the different acts, we toured for a good while with the Joneses. They did the real popular record "Pretty Pretty" and what's that? Sputtered Up, Sputtered. I don't know the name of it, but
Pretty was their best song.
yeah, but like I said, it's just so many stories you can tell about being on that road. I mean, every group. I used to sit down in the dressing room and just listen to other artists' their stories and uh, trials and tribulations they went through by being on the road. Because you run into so many different incidents, should I say, and every group that I know that's had a dramatic temptation, all of us. But
Mhm.
that's a learning. Traveling is a learning experience, and a lot of times you're just living out of a suitcase.
Let me ask you this, because I want each one of you to answer this separately. Do you
Okay.
have anyone
Okay.
that was your influence, a person or people or group that wanted you to become a performer, that want you to do what you want that you're doing? Is there
Oh, that's a
somebody,
difficult
each
question.
one of you, who are your influences? Let's start with you,
Well,
Ron.
good.
Well, family.
Your family?
Yes, my family was my influence. we have some good vocalists in my family, especially my mother. She was a soprano in the Hill of Jackson. My mother had the most beautiful voice, and she used to always encourage me. Now, when I was a kid, I stuttered really bad, but I didn't stutter. My mother picked this up. I didn't stutter when I sang. So she used to have me sing to her and to communicate better. Yeah, but my parents were a great influence on me there. Hmm. And after
Now,
that, we started gaining fans, and everybody would support us. A lot of our friends would support us. Go ahead, Ted.
well, who was very influential in my career as an artist was, of course, you know, everybody wanted, back in the 60s, they were hot, 60s, early 70s. And in the halls of Eastern High School, we used to have an area called the ramp. And we all used to either we was cutting class or on our lunch hours to go down to the ramp. And I mean, it'd be sometimes
You
seven,
know
eight,
the
nine
wood
people
shop.
down there. And a lot of the tunes go over were the Temptations.
All right.
And not only along with that being said, is that just watching the choreography back then, uh, to me, they were the pioneers of that. Can't not mention the Cadillacs. They were very inspirational to the choreography. Also, that say, hey, look, we just can't stand up here and stand at a look around and rock back and forth. So we had to implement that stepping in there and quick movement. So that's hearing it.
I have a question.
So was there
Um,
any one particular venue that when you all played, that you thought, okay, we made it? This was the pinnacle of our success, that you really that you really felt that you wanted to play, got the opportunity to play?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. For me, it was Houston Hall
yep. And the Capitol Center.
and
Oh,
the
okay.
Capitol Center,
Oh,
but also the Kennedy Center.
Hmm.
you all played the Kennedy Center. Wow.
I mean, it's like
Oh, yeah.
we was at the Kennedy Center with Al Green
Oh man.
and Chuck Brown and sisters.
Wow.
And and coming up in the day when we used to go to different concerts, it was always the Carter Barron. But that was, oh man, I said that was
Oh,
ultimate.
yeah.
Carter Barron. So we performed at the Carter Barron. As a matter of fact, you had the flyer. Uh,
let me
Grove,
see. Let me
Eddie
find that thing.
Kendricks, the Pointer Sisters, and Lonnie Liston Smith.
I got that thing. Let me find that. I'm gonna post that. You guys go ahead. Let me find that.
That was at
Yeah,
the Carter
yeah.
Burn. Ted, what was the name of that amphitheater they performed at in Ohio? Canton, Ohio, or Akron? I think it was with Blue Magic,
It was
or
Blue Magic
Black,
and Hendrix.
was
That's
it
what.
Blue Magic or Black Ivy
No, it was Blue Magic and Eddie Kendricks.
in Ohio?
Yeah, it was in. It was at
What's
the
the name of the theater?
it was at Akron University. That's where it was.
Oh, okay.
That's where it was. Yeah, but there was so many acts from the city that was very inspirational to us. Okay, because Washington's had so much talent. Okay, we didn't have the conglomerate record companies and studios here in the Washington D.C. area. Because New York, they had the different record companies, RCA, Columbia, et cetera. And Philly had Philly Groove, Philadelphia International, where Detroit Town, and I think Chicago. I'm just naming a few. Curton Records, and then you had Solar Records out on the West Coast, but we really had here. And so, speaking of that, Van was also trying to create that type of in Washington D.C. before he passed. But
Right.
there were so many acts here in the Washington D.C. area that was so inspirational to us. You had Marvin Gaye, you had Van McCoy, you had Billy Stewart. I mean, just to name a few, uh, different groups like the Unifics,
You
the
remember Walter Jackson?
well, he's not from DC. I'm only speaking of people from
Yeah.
DC. You had the Dynamic Superiors. I could go on and on, but they were very inspirational to us. We was inspired by a lot of different acts that were here because you were young. It was like being competitive. Well, who's going to be the top dog in the city and that type of. But I had a lot of respect for the different acts here. Anacostia, I could go on and on. The Soul Searchers, the Young
President.
Senators. It was just so many here. Stacey
Yeah.
Lattisaw, of course, she recorded. Also did I think Young and Johnny Gill.
Stacey
I'm from the old
Lattisaw.
school. I'm the newer, younger artists. But
Mhm.
when we were out performing all over the country, I just wanted to represent my city well, to say, hey, we're from YC, and I think we did a pretty good job of it.
So were you all born and raised in DC? All of you? All the members of the group?
We're pretty much
Yes.
all Washingtonian. I was born in North Carolina, but I came to DC in 1954. So I grew up here in Washington. I started school in Washington and I attended school in DC. So I consider myself a Washingtonian. Mhm.
4 years old. Well, what, 5? You were 5 back then. I was 4.
So you all just mentioned Stacey
Bobby's the oldest
Lattisaw.
though, but for a couple of months or so.
You all just mentioned
Yeah,
Stacey
people.
Lattisaw. And I
Yeah.
wanted to talk
What you
about
say?
the song "Young and Young." You all just mentioned Stacey Lattisaw, and I just wanted
Right.
to talk about that
Yeah.
song "Young and in Love" because I know she did a version. But the very first version that I heard was the Marvelettes. I heard that was the first version I heard, and then I also heard
That's right.
Ralph Carter from Good Times. He did a version, but I'm not just
Yeah.
saying this because you guys are on the show right now. But my favorite version was Choice Ford's version,
Mhm.
and the reason I say that
But
is
thank you.
because all the other ones were up tempo and but you guys slowed it down and made it mellow and it just had this vibe about it. I love that song.
Well,
So whose idea was it to
thank
give
you.
it that arrangement?
That was Van.
That was
Well,
Van.
Yeah.
let me speak on that. Okay, I think the first recording of that record, "When You're Young in Love," was done by Ruby and the Romantics. I think that was the first recording of "When You're Young and in Love." Now, then you had the Marvelettes. I think Stacey Lattisaw. I don't know who else did it.
No, we done it. We done it after the Marvelettes, I believe.
I know
Okay.
Ralph Carter from Good
Well,
Times has
Yeah, he
version
came
of it
after
too.
us.
Yeah.
But
well,
it was
actually,
but Van wrote the song, so he passed that song around a lot. Mhm.
well, at that time, if I'm not sure, I think we kind of came out with that record around the same time, Ralph Carter and the Choice Four, because I mean he sang it on the show with Good Time. Yeah, he used to sing
Yeah,
it on
Yeah.
that
Good Times. Yeah.
show, Good. But the record it became very popular. I think after we recorded it, more so than
Mhm.
the other versions of it.
Well, it was huge in DC.
But definitely.
It was
Mhm.
Yeah,
huge in DC. I just
yeah,
remember listening, hearing it on the radio
it did
all
well.
the time in DC.
Yeah, I love the song, but I'm gonna tell you another song I like that we did was I don't want to say from Bobby, but "You're So Right for Me" and "Angel Don't Fly Away." Those are one of my favorite. But we also recorded I'm Gonna Walk Away from Love. We
I was
did the
gonna
original recording of that.
I was gonna ask you
Actually,
guys
when
about
you're
that
young
because
in
I didn't
love,
know.
When You're Young in Love was chosen as our first release. Not the first release, but the main release. But we had two other songs. Ted mentioned one, When You're Young and in Love. No, Walk Away from Love. And what's the other one, Ted? Walk Away from Love. And
like I said, the first recording was I Need Your Love to Keep Me Warm.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ones that David Ruffin did. David Ruffin, the Choice 4 recorded Walk Away from Love before David Ruffin. And what was the other song he recorded, Ted?
Oh, David did quite a few of ours on his album.
I'm talking about the hits, the two best songs.
That he did? Well, I can't remember.
Walk Away from Love. And there's another one.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I know he did on his album. Did two or three of them on his album. Which ones I don't quite remember. But
I think my point was that Choice 4 recorded those songs that David Ruffin made so popular. We have recorded them, and a lot of people like our version. Then he released it after we did, and I think he had more success than we did.
Oh, no question about it. I think his went gold. Or maybe even platinum.
Platinum, yeah. So we was a little not upset, but we was like, wow. And we was the original artist.
So who actually was the lead on that single?
Say again.
Who was the lead on the single? Walk Away from Love.
Charles
Black.
Charles. Mm. Because I love David Ruffin, but he wasn't able to hit that high note like Charles hit.
Well, David Ruffin actually hit another note. He kind of he definitely rearranged it and took a direction. Because Charles is like, it's not that I don't love you, because you know how much I do. And it's not that I found someone to take the place of you. It's just a feel that's deep within me. And so Charles, he had it a little more mellow. That was great.
But I know that note where David said, break my heart.
Charlie Kipps wrote that song. But yeah, he created that note that everybody took to. Now, not only that, I was with Ollie.
Charles did that on his own.
Yeah,
Charles did that note.
Yeah,
that was part of his expanding the song. But Charles was a great, and there were some really famous second tenor baritones at that time, like David Ruffin, of course, and Dennis Edwards and all these guys. Another good second tenor baritone was what's his name from the Dramatics, Ted? R.J. Reynolds?
No.
And Ted I'm just saying that Ted was in that same, Charles was in that same vein as those guys.
Come on here, Bob. I'm losing on you, my phone. My phone is dying.
But hey, look, how you get in here? I thought you was in New York.
No, hey, look. Give me, let me in. Oh, man, that's better. My phone.
Look.
Ted must have just flew in. I thought he was out of the country.
Hey, look. Also, Ollie Woodson also recorded I'm Gonna Walk with Love. And he did a wonderful job. Matter of fact, he played it for me while we was in a hotel room before he recorded it. And he didn't know that I had recorded the record first. So David said, no, Ollie, Choice 4 did it first.
Wow.
Hey, I can't see you guys. I lost you guys.
Well, we
wrote.
Okay, now I can see you guys. My phone is dying, so I'm gonna cut out on my phone. I'm just stick here with Bobby's, even though he's a pain. Better on your daggone computer than mine.
Oh yeah, because you're on your phone.
Well,
I can see.
Charlie was a hell of a dancer. Go Charlie, as everybody calls him.
Let me see if I can get this picture.
Trying to show
No,
you.
I'm trying to show you this
camera's up
picture
here.
of
Oh, that's
where
one
is
from your
Charles?
album
That's
cover?
Charles right there.
Right.
Charles Blackman.
Bob, you got to send me that
That was
picture, man.
that was our lead singer of Walk Away from Love. Fantastic vocalist.
So, Bob, can
Yes.
I get some scans of those photos, man? All the way
Definitely.
back? Definitely, man, because you got some good stuff, man. Now, could you guys
I
see
just have to send you. I need to get your where I should mail them to.
Okay.
I can send them on text, right?
Well, I'll show you how to get it done where you can still keep your originals. Now, here's the from the collar burn. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. That's all we did up at the and it rained
With this
a
one?
couple of days. No, that one. You want my glasses? You can't see.
I got some glasses.
Here, look at it.
Here's my glasses.
Those your glasses.
I recreated them. I gave the DC group some play. You know, I gave DC groups more play.
Okay. I see the young senators over here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the young senators, they were off the chain, boy. That was back then. That was my group. We used to go to the Go-Go's and dance to their music. Matter of fact, I'm helping Jimmy Dugan do some now,
Okay.
and I hope it's going to go well.
All right.
It's going to go very, very well.
There's Jimmy Dugan right there. Mm-hmm.
With the
Eddie Kendricks had a lot of first tenors that molded themselves after him, including myself.
Okay.
But the
talk about this
person
show,
that
guys.
taught me the most vocally was Mark Green of the Original Moments.
All right.
Mark was a
Mark,
great
giving you
first
some
tenor.
play, my brother.
Shout out to Mark.
You know, when I hear him now, he sounds a lot like Cuba Gooding. Yeah, now when I hear him.
Well, maybe he's singing in a lower register because he's like 80 years old, so close to it.
There's Mark.
There he is,
Wait a
Mark
minute.
Green.
We'll make a from my glasses. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I love my glasses.
Mark was he was in the Original Moments.
Right.
And
not on the outside
they
and what was it?
recorded Not on the Outside and Love on a Two-Way Street.
And that's got it because a lot of them they didn't do. Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Okay. Now, this was
All
at Howard
right.
Theater, right? This is at the Howard Theater.
It's on May 12th.
Yep, 620 T Street is at Howard Theater.
Right. You remember doing that show?
This one?
Yeah. With Mark.
Yeah. I remember that.
No, you don't remember.
I don't remember.
Man, that was 50 years ago.
Mark Green, Skip Mahoney.
And the soft tones?
Now, did you guys ever perform with the Unifics?
No. Yes, we did. No.
No.
Bobby didn't. We did. It's the love tones.
You keep talking about
Wait
amateurs.
a minute, Bobby, remember that you didn't even have a group, so a group of notoriety. So we'll let that go. But anyway,
They have notoriety.
yes.
They have no recording.
Anyway, I did a show with the Unifics at the Monument, and let me tell you, man. We was working with the Love Tones. We was working with the Showmobile under what's his name, Mr. Gray. He was the director. So we were funded by the government, so we had our little tuxedos and bow ties. Oh, this is looking good. So we're in the dressing room, and this guy group came down. They had a khaki pants on, little James Brown, little sparkly shirt. And white, what do you call them? The buck, what's called them bucks? Dirty bucks, whatever they call them. Anyway, and they were white and white gloves. Okay, man, they got up on the stage and my mouth dropped. I'm like, I can't believe that.
Unifics.
Yes. And they did a version of Old Man River. And after that, I said, man, as of the Love Tones, I said, we have worked because they were what we were trying to be, should I say, at that time. And they were from right from Washington, D.C. And
Ted was definitely a fan of the Unifics.
oh, yeah.
We all were.
And look, Greg and I talk all the time. That's my love. And let me tell you, all the different acts from here, because we had a lot of choreographed acts here in the DC area. We can't leave out the dynamic superiors.
Mm-hmm.
And Holly. It was another group called the Intrepids. They were a group to be reckoned with too. But it was back then. It was more like, okay, who can dance the best? Who can?
It was that battle dance atmosphere.
So, but it was all in good taste, and we represented Washington D.C. area. I mean, to the best of our ability, and I loved it. I loved all the acts. I always thought the acts come out of Washington.
The
D.C.
picture that you're showing right now, next to Ted, that's Bruce.
Okay.
This picture's in 1970.
Oh, that was in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, when we first went to Baltimore.
Yeah,
So this was before Charles.
Yes.
Yeah, before Charles. Yeah. We was
And you remember the hotel we stayed in?
the Albion Hotel. Oh yeah.
Don't even
No.
mention it.
You talking about one of our road memories?
Yeah, that was
We
a
were
good one.
performing in Baltimore with Jackson. Walter Jackson had us stand at the Albion Hotel. We were performing on the west side at a club called the Blue Gardenia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to the hotel that night to rest and then get ready for the next day.
Actually, part of Ted skip was we were running out of money because we needed money to pay for our hotel, and we were there for a couple of weeks at least. So that's what Ted's getting at. How we ran out of money,
What?
and I forgot after that, Ted.
Okay, I'll take it up from there.
Yeah.
What happened was
How we had to sneak out of the hotel.
Walter Jackson was supposed to pay that,
Oh, sure.
and he didn't pay it. When we came back to the hotel, there were locks on the door.
They
Padlocked
padlocked
the
our room.
doors. But fortunately, out back of the hotel, there were fire escapes. So we climbed up the fire escapes and got our clothes out of the hotel and came and skipped out on having to pay that because we didn't have the money because Walter Jackson skipped town on us. Unfortunately, those kind of things happen when you have to depend on other people. That's just another war story. No, don't do that. I can't hear, Bobby.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I know,
Where you want to go next?
One of the songs, my personal favorites from you guys is "You're So Right for Me." I just love that song. And it has, to me, just like that stylistics, Delphonics, Blue Magic kind of a vibe. Is that what you all were going for with that song?
No, absolutely not. Not really. It just came out that way. I led that song when you're so right for me.
I love that song, man. Love it.
Yeah, thank you. When Van gave us the song, we just rehearsed it as normal, and it just came out that way actually.
Well,
But as far as my voice and whatnot, it was natural, and it was just kind of close to some other artists out there. But I would try to do the best that I could.
now, being honest about the whole thing, I thought that should have been our first release.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Yeah, I thought because, like I said, our introduction to RCA was "I Need Your Love to Keep Me Warm."
Mm-hmm.
Our first single release was "The Finger Pointers."
Mm-hmm.
I thought at that time, because all during that era, that was the era, I think, of the tenors. You had the stylistic, you had the Delphonics, you had the moments at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You had Cliff Perkins and Soul Generation. All those, that was that era.
The Montclair.
And the Montclair.
Oh man,
Montclair.
that was my favorite.
And I thought at that time, okay, if that's what the listening ear is listening for now, I thought that should have been our first release. I think that would have put us right in there in that little genre of music with the tenors.
Yeah, that song to me, man, like I said, I love When You're Young and in Love, but You're So Right for Me, to me, that's my favorite song by the Choice 4. It's
That's
just,
a lot of
I
people's
think it could
favorite.
have been a huge hit if that was the first single.
That's that. I feel the same. I feel the same. I thought that should have been
That may have been a better choice.
Well, the only thing about it, we didn't really have the say in what songs were going to be released. Should I say?
Right.
You know, there was a whole council, a whole board that determined what song they were going to release. And this happens with every artist. You don't know what the people are going to gravitate to. So you try to make, your best choice and selection about, putting a song out there. But You're So Right for Me was our choice. But RCA, they decided to go with, what was it?
Well,
the Finger Pointers, the up tempo.
Finger Pointers?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool
On
song.
that-
I mean, Finger
on that
Pointers is cool, but to me,
Yeah.
it doesn't
On that
touch
album,
You're So
it
Right
is-
for Me at all.
Mhm. On that first album, the Finger Pointers had a part 1 and a part 2. It was the first song on the album, and part 2 was the last song on the album. So they had put a lot into that song. So they selected, but they should have listened to us and selected You're So Right for Me.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
For real. That was one of my favorites.
I used to like.
Because I sing that song.
Look it up with my favorite.
Mr. Ham over here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Vinnie Barrett wrote that song she's from Washington D.C.
Did she?
Yeah, Vinnie wrote a couple of songs for us. Not which one she did. Not Love Is There. She Hook It Up and Is It Love? Is It Love? And not only that, I mean, also along with Van and Charlie Kip, we also had songs that was written us by Terry Huff of Special Delivery and Chet Fortune of Delivery.
Okay. Cool.
And Vinny told me something that I didn't remember. And remember Ronnie Dice from Washington D.C.
Ronnie was from
They
DC?
did.
Well, I didn't know he was from D.C. Wow.
I didn't either.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know how to
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
You
And,
talking about if
Yeah,
you let me make love to you, Ronnie Dice?
right.
Wow, I didn't know he was from DC.
I just don't want to be lonely. Is that? Yeah, he wrote that.
Well, that was the
Main ingredient.
main ingredient.
But that was Vinny and John Freeman. John Freeman was
Right.
the band here.
Right.
John Freeman,
Well,
the Delusions. Remember the Delusions?
yes, I do. Yes, I do. I remember John Freeman.
John
used to write with Vinnie Barrett.
Oh, right. Because he did Just Don't Want to Be Lonely with her.
That's what I'm talking about. Ronnie Dyson did it first.
Okay.
All right. And believe it or not, we did it before Ronnie Dyson did it.
Okay.
We didn't record it. But if you talk to Vinnie Barrett will tell you.
Wow.
And like I said,
Well,
once she did, I don't mind when you say that one there. You know what I'm talking about. Just don't want to be lonely.
No, that song belonged to the who was just saying?
You talking about the
Good and Main Ingredient. That's their song.
No, it was Ronnie Dyson's song first.
He sang it first?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he wasn't. It hit. Well, maybe he sang it first, but the main ingredient is the one we associated with.
Right.
Cuba Gooding, Senior.
Now look at this. Is we performed on Soul Train.
Yes, Soul Train.
If that's what you have up there, now we're not.
Oh, I didn't mean
now.
to have that up there. Man, it's hard keeping up with the stuff. Audience, bear with
Okay.
me.
But speaking of that picture, do you know what songs you were singing when you heard what that song was?
When you're young and in love.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Okay.
you can pull that up on YouTube. Performance.
Whole performance?
Okay.
Yeah, it's posted on YouTube now.
Who posted it?
I don't know. It's on there.
I don't know how it's on there.
It's on there. I saw it.
There's a copyright infringement, might be, you know.
I don't know. I know.
That belongs to Soul Train.
The Duncan is no. They sold it to someone, some attorneys.
Well, Magic Johnson, they sold it to Magic Johnson for a period of time. He sold it as well. But all that.
I'm not going to touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what else I meant to tell you guys. I used to DJ at Tiffany's back in the day. I think I mentioned this earlier. And
Hey, look, that was Charles's hangout.
Going to the record pool, and I got this 12-inch version, "Come Down to Earth."
Oh,
the 12-inch remix by the Choice 4.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't wait to get to the club to play that song because it was that beat. Got to Tiffany's, put that song on, and it turned the club out.
What?
Awesome. That 12-inch version of that song.
That was done. RCA redid that because, like I said, that was a disco, and 12 inches were the thing.
But it was interesting because it sort of reminded me of Papa Wasn't Wrong. It had that kind of a vibe to it, you know, some kind of vibe. But it was so funky that it, like I said, it turned the club out.
What? Now
I can see that. I see what you mean there. Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Now we had a song called "What's That Dance You Doing?" Hey, what's that dance you doing? Okay,
that's on the first album.
No, it's on the last one we did. Oh. And that particular song, we got the idea because everything we were doing are like or ballads. Because the music was sweet, sweet mellow music. But Van said, we went to Van and said, we want something funky. And because Van wasn't a funk arranger, okay? So we said we want something funky. So he said, well, on the line of what? I said, well, the Temptations got a song called "Standing on Shaky Grounds." Right? I said funk. So that's when he came up with, "Hey, what's that dance you doing?" If you listen to it, it's kind of on that same style as "Standing on Shaky Ground" by the Temptations. And we also see another thing about this particular group. We had multiple leads, and that was a plus for us because it didn't keep us, should I say, locked into a one lead singer. Right. And I'm glad that didn't happen with us because, I'm not saying that they are great lead singers. But the sad part about that, once that lead singer gets and you performing,
no, you're not supposed to get sick. You got to go. The show must go on.
Yeah, but sometimes you get to the point where you just can't do it.
I think Van did a great job with our music and, staying in the genre at the time. And he wrote some music that was really popular. And like Ted said, it really matched the times that we were going, It was great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I want to mention, we also done some international tours. We spent a lot of time in Mexico. That was with Van. And then we did a Far Eastern tour as well. And we went to Malaysia, Hong Kong, Japan, all these Far Eastern countries. And that was fantastic.
Now, did Van have some other DC groups traveling with you?
No, actually, he done a lot of shows himself, and sometimes I think Faith, Hope, and Charity perform with him.
But they never really perform
on the international tours. We used to go with him as well. And
I know one group we toured with the Blackbirds, Donald Byrds and Blackbirds. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But most of the time we were basically soloing out there.
We had our own tour, our circuit.
Well, we really didn't get with a major booking agency. So Paul did a lot of our booking, Paul Cohen. And we was on the hotel circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this, because since you all came out like in '74, you were like during the disco era later on. How do you? What did you think about the disco era when it really hit? I know Van is famous for recording a lot of disco music, but were you
Right.
as a group, were you that sound yourselves, or you were just going with whatever was given to you?
No, well, of course, I really didn't want R&B to get pushed to the side, but disco, we enjoyed it, we liked it, but as we all know, the disco age kind of put a damper on some of the R&B music for every artist.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm. And then you had
I
artists
agree.
like Donna Summers. They had these big hits, these big disco hits and stuff like that. But disco did a little bit of it pushed back on R&B.
Well, see, at that time, you had to go along with the flow of what was going on in the music industry at that time.
Right.
Right.
Because, in our era, which was the sweet, should I say, ballads, when we were coming up, basically that, like I said, back when you had the dramatics, the delphonics, et cetera, then the music over to disco. So you had to go with what the flow was happening then,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and that's what Van directed us into. Because of course, he did the hustle, and okay, that was his thing then. Because he wrote a lot of sweet ballads for the different acts back then. The president and Anacostia, and that was then. When that disco era came in, you had to go with the times at that time. And that's what he did with us. Even though we did have some nice ballads in there. But you had songs like Come Down to Earth. The other one we did. What's the other one we did? That was no disco. Well, anyway, we had to go with the times at that time. What was going on in the music industry, and a lot of groups had to do that. Just a prime example is it's like coming out of the '60s music, and you got into the cultural movement. So that's what when like with Marvin Gaye when he did the album What's Going On, and then the Temptations got into Runaway Child, Running Wild, those Papa was the Rolling Stones. So those are the cultural changes, and that's the music had to change with that. And then you went from that, then you went to rap music after go era.
Mm-hmm.
So was Van the only producer that worked with you guys?
Yes, we tried out for a few producers, but Van was the one in 1974 that really, done the most for us. Because we tried, remember we went to Philadelphia? Who was that? That was
Tom Bell.
Yeah, Tom Bell and Linda Creed. We tried out, we auditioned for the Philly Sound Group. And that was an experience. But Van was the one that took us, where we wanted to go as far as getting them to a major label.
Now, did Van work with the stylistics after you guys?
He
I don't know.
Yeah, he worked with stylistics. He worked with Blue Magic, Soft. He worked with a lot of those different acts up in that Philly area.
Phillips, he did some stuff with
Gladys Knight and the Pips.
David Ruffin.
Yeah, David Ruffin. Melba Moore. Mae West.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Mae West?
Yeah, because he did a lot of the movie scores also.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Van was one of the geniuses of music for that era. Maybe some people don't know that, but he was a genius.
Yeah.
And his favorite instrument, violins.
Oh, he had his own style when it comes to creating violin.
That's why all this music has a lot of violin music in there. Yeah.
Wow.
So is there any other producer that you would have liked to work with during that period of time?
Well, in
if you had a choice?
1978, we had an opportunity after Van passed away. I think that was 78, maybe 79, somewhere between 78 and 79. After he passed away, we had an opportunity to continue to record some other producers. And one of them he's about the same age as we are, but he was really young then as well as we were. and that was David Foster.
Okay.
Oh, David Foster.
Now,
Really?
now I can say I didn't want to just say we made a mistake, but that was that could have proven to be a great opportunity, and it may have resulted in some really great things.
Getting back to the
Did he have
question
any records out at that time? David Foster? Had he done
Mhm.
anything big during
I
that
don't
period
remember
of time?
some of he was just a young producer at RCA.
Okay.
I'm too old. I don't remember all that. But you know who I wish that we had produced something was Tom Bell. Tom Bell and with Cameron Huff.
Yeah,
I like that Philly
yeah, Gamble and
organization.
Huff.
You all will really fit into that vibe too. I could hear
I,
that.
yeah,
I could
yeah.
definitely hear that. Yeah, I could definitely hear that.
Yeah, we auditioned for them, but unfortunately, band's offer came through first, so we went with that one.
Yeah. I could definitely be Tom Bell. Clearly.
Oh, no
Yeah.
question. I didn't know Tom Bell could sing the way he did. I just saw
He's a producer, huh?
yeah, but no, he could
Writer.
sing. He could sing his. They just did a set on him on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't know he could sing like that. He sang all those songs that he wrote. He sat on the piano and sang them all. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, he's clearly one of
I
my
didn't know he could
favorite
sing either.
producers,
Wow.
writers.
Mm-hmm. But also Charlie Kipps he produced too. Also, the one that wrote "I'm Gonna Walk Away from Love." Charlie Kipps wrote that song.
But he mostly
Band.
worked with Fan, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, all that was with Fan.
he wrote that song. I'm Gonna Walk Away from Love. You didn't know that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me take y'all back to Eastern Talent Day times.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Now I know it was a lot of talent shows, right?
Oh yeah.
Was there one group that you guys hated to go against?
Talent.
Well, I didn't want to talk about the rivalries, but now at that time when we were young, there was a lot of rivalries, and there was jealousy and envy because we got a lot of feedback from all kind of. But now, as adults, of course, you don't really think that way anymore.
Well,
But that's on you, Ted. As far as
I knew because I sang with a lot of talent then,
Mhm.
and like I said, we were just starting out. I wasn't. I didn't come up in the music. I was a sports player, so I learned. Matter of fact, Petey taught me. But back then, when it
Petey
came
taught
to
us all.
performing and competing, it was one group but Bruce was in, called the Cardales. They were good performers. The Intrepids. Okay.
That was Charles, right?
No, the Intrepids were Larry Jordan.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
Donald
Mike.
Corn. Them. Oh yeah, Michael.
Bob.
Yeah, a great group. They were really, really nice.
What's the name of that song?
Then you had, of course, you had the Unifics. We weren't a talent show, but hey,
What was the name of the song
that was.
released?
It's just a picture.
Yeah.
It's just a
Do you
picture.
remember how that goes?
Yeah. No, I don't remember. I can't, and I'm not gonna sing it either.
I'll sing it.
But yeah, back in the day, it was very, very competitive market, should I say, in the talent industry in DC. Oh man, oh
Well,
man.
what about this? How about groups that didn't make it that you can remember that
Say it
probably
again,
could've-
please.
Who?
Say it again. Repeat what you said.
I'm trying to think of maybe some groups that had the talent but just didn't make it that you thought should have gone further.
I thought the Intrepids.
Yeah.
The Intrepids should have made it.
Well, would you consider the presidents from Anacostia?
Well, they made it.
Yeah, they did.
They
Yeah.
made but look, look, another act that he was a female that was, I mean, it was phenomenal. That was the Fawns. Now, no, we can't leave the Fawns out.
Oh, the Fawns, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And the Fuzz.
and the Fuzz. Yeah. See, I was so into the male acts that I forget about the female acts. But I'm gonna tell you another young lady was in a group that's a comedian. What's her name? She was in a group. She's a comedian today. What's her name? Sylvia.
Yeah, Sylvia something.
Uh,
Maureen's friend, right?
no, she's a comedian today. She was with Dick Gregory and all, and you know I'm over. I can't pull her name.
I can't think of it. I think I know you're talking about.
Okay.
But anyway, these are acts that I felt in the Fonz. There were other acts that I thought that should have been out there that should have reached a higher plateau in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
One was I thought that the Blendales were nice.
I remember the Blendales.
Blendales, I mean, what's the guy's name? Larry Sharp. Remember Larry Sharp?
Right.
Man, I heard he was phenomenal.
And Bo too. Bo, what's Bo's last name?
Bo Sharp?
Yeah, Bo Sharp.
Bo Sharp. Oh yeah. What's the name of it?
Is he with the T?
No, Halo.
Yeah, Halo.
I think Halo.
Halo really good.
They were, yeah, to be to contend with. Trust me. And I could go on. There's just so many acts in Washington D.C. but I'm old now, so.
Okay, now Easton being the vocal factory that it was. What about some of the other groups from other high schools? That you remember?
Okay. You had acts out of McKinley Tech. True Reflection with Glenn Leonard's group.
The one with the Temptations?
Remember that? Yeah, True Reflection.
Okay.
That was Glenn Leonard's group. Do you know any other acts?
Glenn went to McKinley?
Yeah, Glenn was in McKinley Tech.
We must be smart. McKinley was
I went to McKinley.
Yeah, okay. So back then, the acts that came out of it.
Glenn and a couple of them came out before me. Glenn and Richard Smallwood, they all came out of McKinley before I did.
All right.
Right. What about Coleman and Blunt? Did they go to McKinley too?
I don't remember.
I think they did.
Okay.
But I know that McKinley Tech had a lot of musical talent. A lot of music.
Music program. I mean, with a music and art program, like what Ellington became is what we were at the time.
Exactly.
Right. McKinley was one of the better high schools in D.C. at the time.
Well, that's why
and they had a lot of academic success.
Yeah. Well, it must.
McKinley recruited my sister as well.
Now, what other schools?
Oh, jeez. See, the thing about it,
I know it runs together right now, Ted.
No.
See, we were very young. This was like in high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but see, I didn't get around much. I didn't get around. I didn't get around much. We didn't have a car, so I didn't know what was going on in other schools.
Yeah.
Well, hey, same here, man. Same here.
But I know that. Then you Spingarn. Spingarn had a lot of like that. Yeah, because I think. Because I think Greg and them Greg Cook and them came out of Spingarn of the Unifics.
Okay. And what about
Coolidge? Coolidge? I don't know too much about you. Bobby, where he went to Coolidge?
Yeah, they had a couple artists up there. They had the talent shows and whatnot, but nobody ever really pursued past the high school years.
Well, then the Delusions come out of Coolidge. The Delusions came out of Coolidge, didn't it?
I'm not sure.
I see the thing about it. I didn't hear of these groups. I only speak of certain groups, and they said, and when I put it out there about different acts, DC acts, and they said, "Oh, you forgot about so and so. You forgot about this. You forgot about them." I said, "I didn't know about these different acts." And boy, I caught heck when I said certain groups. Oh, well, what about so and so? And it went on. It was nice because they brought acts that I never heard of before, and I said,
"Wow!"
Because
everybody wanted to be noticed and recognized.
Yes.
And only a handful of people got the contracts.
Ted, all you had to do is create their own list.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That was your list.
Yeah, that was my list, and they added on to it, boy. They kept going. Oh, you forgot about so and so, and I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know.
Got you.
But I was only speaking of acts that I basically were familiar around in our area, in our genre.
Now you were speaking about the dancing, and And you guys danced, and Unifics danced. What other groups were famous for their choreography and dancing?
Well, you have the Dynamic Superiors.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
Superior's
I
decent
mean, did you
choreography.
guys ever perform with them?
Yes.
Yep.
We performed
In
with them
Baltimore.
in Baltimore.
Mhm.
And what surprised me was, wow. I mean, they were very creative.
Oh man.
When
You know, my
when
favorite song by them is "Leave It Alone."
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Most people
Yeah,
like
a
"See
lot of
Sign,"
people.
but "Leave It Alone" is my favorite. But
Yeah, and Tony could sing the heck out
oh
of that
man,
too. But
and you know what?
but
And when he sang it, you know, I can really sense the Ashford sense of production in that one. I mean, like, definitely. That's my
man, let me
favorite
tell
song
you.
by them. "Leave It Alone."
I mean, they put a lot of work in their performance, and I commend them for that, because they put a lot of work in. Because I think the first time I ever saw the Dynamic Superiors, I think they were of the Shelter Room. They used to perform at the Shelter Room a lot.
They did.
Where was the Shelter Room? I forgot. What was the Shelter Room?
Savannah Terrace down in
Okay.
I think it's Southeast Washington.
Yeah, off of let's see, is
I
that
think
Alabama Avenue?
yes, off that way, down that way somewhere.
The Shelter
Over
Room.
by Parkland Apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Back
matter of
in
fact, name some of those venues that are long gone that a lot of people used to either go to or play at.
I don't even know, but I know the
I
Shelter
can
Room is gone.
You know, the Shelter Room is gone.
The
yeah.
Mark IV is gone.
Yeah.
The Room.
Mm-hmm. The Crazy Spot.
Yeah, the Crazy Spot.
That's where we were
Discovered.
discovered by Van McCoy at the Crazy Spot. I'm gonna tell you, Chuck McCool, he was like, kind of doing a promoting us somewhat back in
Yeah, it
that
was like a
day.
little talent scout. That's how I met you guys through Chuck.
Right. And he introduced us to Van. He brought Van down to the Crazy Spot where we were performing. And that's how we were introduced to Van McCoy.
Okay.
This Crazy Spot was on the intersection of Florida Avenue, where
In
Florida
Connecticut,
Avenue ended.
Florida and Connecticut.
Yeah, Florida and Connecticut.
So right near where the Washington Hilton is now.
Yes.
Right across the street from it.
Yep.
It's right.
Okay.
I couldn't.
Right on the corner.
I couldn't believe we performed in that place. The stage was so small. So
it's
small.
not as small as the stage in Baltimore.
Oh my God, the carousel. Oh,
Oh, yeah,
I'll never forget that. The
Which
carousel,
one is
you
this
sank, huh?
Which one is this again?
The carousel in Baltimore, where you dance inside the bar. The bar was rectangular, and the stage area was right
I'm trying to think.
in the bar.
The stage may have been, I don't know,
Ah,
4 feet by
Yeah.
15 feet. No, not that much.
Yeah,
4
it was
by
around,
12.
the scene nightclub.
Like a 5 by 12 or something like that. And we had to do all of our high speed acrobatic even choreography
on a platform.
on a 5 by 12.
But I'm gonna tell you. Speaking of
And we could do it. We did it.
Speaking of Baltimore had some phenomenal acts also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, when we first got there, I think the first act that we were introduced to was called the Young Vandals. That was with Damon Harris.
Who sang with the Temptations after Eddie.
Temptation, yeah.
When we went there that night, we were trying to get a gig at the place called what's the name of that place? The Chanticleer.
Chanticleer, right?
Chanticleer on Charles Street.
Mm-hmm.
And we came into audition to the club, and this act they were practicing there,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys were singing with 5 of them, and
They were great.
And I said, these guys, they emulated Temptation to the T.
Mm-hmm. They were great.
And they were phenomenal. So then we were introduced to acts because we became what's Boston's name? The guy that owned the Scene nightclub was managing us. So we started performing at the Scene nightclub.
That's right, yeah.
And a lot of the acts from Baltimore used to perform there, like Frankie and the Spindles, First Class, the Soft Tones, anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many. I mean, they had so much talent there. Too much talent came there and became of notoriety. Like Baba.
Bobby started singing with the Intruders. Yeah, he was great.
Billy Griffin went to the Miracles.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Damon Harris. They went to the Temptations. There were just so many acts out of Baltimore. I forgot the Whatnots. Do you remember anymore?
And we were in our early 20s, remember?
Yeah.
So the way Ted is telling it now, it was more of a rivalry back then. You know, it's like, okay, wait till they see us, because the Young Vandals, they were rehearsing at the Santa Clara, right?
Yeah.
And they had another gig, and they went somewhere else and performed a gig, and they came back at another day. They came back, and we had gotten a gig at the Santa Clara, and they walked in on our performance, and then they knew we put everybody on notice in Baltimore.
Well, see,
Ted's missing that part because we're mature now, so there's not that rivalry.
we were like new kids on the block.
Yeah, man.
And so what came to be was like, okay, we were
rivals.
We were the group to go after. Mm-hmm. And so when you saw the Globe posters, it was like, oh, at the nightclub, you have the Soft Tone versus the Choice 4. I'm like, come on, wait for that. We just came here to go right into it. But it brought in the crowd noise, okay? Mm-hmm. And though that club was packed every night.
Every night.
And we were like a 80s man group, so it was more women.
We sang all those ballads, and that was during the time of the.
No, what it was is that we were more of a high stepping choreographed group.
There's so we a little different. You remember the group in Detroit?
The Posse.
Ricky, the Posse. We didn't the Posse.
Yeah, but
the Posse was fantastic.
That was Eddie Kennedy's group out of Detroit. Mm-hmm. But oh man,
we had all those sounded like tenors, all those tenors that wanted to sound like Eddie.
Oh yeah, Ricky, he sounded like Eddie too.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question that I think might be a little controversial, but considering that you all came around the 70s and you were around where people were actually singing real music and no auto-tune and all that stuff, what do you think about today's music and the musicians and the vocalists of today?
Well, I don't have much to say about it, but I think it's fine. They have much more technology now, and it does help the vocalists a lot. But the downfall or the short side of that, I think, is when you see them in person, when you go to their performances, you might get there's a possibility that you can get a letdown because they're using all this equipment in the studios. So in person, they may not have that great sound. And one of the pet peeves of all artists, especially back from us and earlier, is that you're not supposed to do anybody's song unless you can do it just as well or better. So I think that's one of the shortfalls, that you possibly get a letdown in your performances. But I don't have anything against the technology. I think it's great.
Well, my thing is that I like the new artists. Some of the lyrics I don't care for. Okay.
It's something that the new technology, it helps the artists more because you have a lot of artists or some artists that may not perform that vocally that well, and it helps them establish their career and whatnot. Okay. Like Trey Songz, Mary J. Blige.
Well, my thing is that I went to see a couple of the artists perform, the newer artists. Matter of fact, I went to see Boys to Men. Mm-hmm. And
they're excellent.
Well, I saw three of them. Mm-hmm. I saw them down here at the jazz festival down here in what's that, Chesapeake or Norfolk down here. Mm-hmm. And what they use to fill that void or make those vocal tracks fatter is they use vocal tracks. They sing along with vocal tracks. And
you mean like the musicians go ahead and record it?
No, they're pre-recorded, mm-hmm. And it's in with the live music.
Oh, okay.
And it makes them sound a lot fuller. Mm-hmm. And you can tell the difference. I didn't like that because, hey, if you can sing, you can sing. You don't need all that, the vocal tracks. Okay, it's okay to sing with musical tracks, but I don't think you don't need the vocal tracks if you can sing. If you can sing it the way you're supposed to.
there's some
just me.
criticism, yeah.
But and I also saw what's the other group I saw do that? What's the group with what's the girl's name? It'll come back to me. In Vogue. I saw In Vogue up here at the there's the blues
Really?
and jazz, and they use all vocal tracks also because you can tell. You can
But
tell
they can sing.
Oh no, they can sing, but I'm saying, but that's what they do. It's a new technology.
To make
That's
a
what they
full
do
of-
now.
yeah.
They make a full sound.
That's great. That sounds good.
Yeah.
But the other stuff is like the studio equipment where they use the voice,
Use
enhancers and
voiceovers.
whatnot.
Yeah. Technology has really changed.
See, in our era, if you were off key, you just had to stop and do it over again. But now they can tune and correct the sound.
Yeah.
They do all that. Yeah.
Well, I know that you all had 3, right, with RCA?
You did the 3 albums.
Three albums. Like it was Finger Pointers, The Choice 4, and On Top of Clear.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
What does On Top of Clear mean? Because I never.
Good question.
Now you're starting something. Now you're starting something.
You want to address that? Or you
Started.
okay, you go ahead.
Well, the Choice 4, we had, I guess you developed our own language.
The only little lingo, should I say?
Yeah, lingo, and it was called time care language, and everything was the opposite. So up was down, good was bad. So if he said to tell someone, well, I'm not going to say it, but that explains it. Everything was opposite, even care. Time care was like you don't care about the times, so it's the opposite. And we could carry full conversations around people.
And
And they're like 20 years old, so we were insulting sometimes and arrogant as well, especially Ted.
Okay, now we're getting back on Top of Clear. Okay. If you speak of like some glass or water is clear, which means good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we say if somebody's singing real nice and sounds good, we say, "Oh, that's clear." That means it's clear. It's like crystal clear.
Right, it's good.
So
Great.
okay, when somebody is singing something that's clear, sounds good, and they sound really good, we said, "Now that's on top of clear."
It is.
So
Okay.
now, if you look at the background of that album, there's clear water back there. All right, basically, because we were in was
That's
recorded,
Atlantic Ocean.
and that was a lingo that we was on top of clear. So okay, not only were we good, we thought we were better than that, so we were on top of clear.
Ego.
Okay, now we also had a band because we had a close knit organization with our band members, and which when we parted on good terms, which the group is called Clear, Kleer.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah, I remember.
Right. Well, they got that same.
That's our original
They
band.
got that little saying "clear" from like clear, but we spell it Clear. They named their group
Clear.
Clear. I mean, they're good, right?
So that's it. That was the origin of that language.
Right. But that group originated. We got that group together. Clear.
That was our first band.
That was one of our first band, but they were all from DC area. Clear.
Except for Woody.
Yeah, I
the
definitely
drummer.
remember them. Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
y'all cleared that up because I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to figure out what does that mean.
No, you get that out. We haven't taken it yet. We won't be able to figure that one
Yeah,
out.
they were. We got them together. Norman Young, Durham was our bass player.
Mhm.
Jerome Towson, he was our keyboard player. He was right from Southeast DC. Richard Lee,
Mhm.
he was our guitar player. He was right off of Reese Road area. Okay, and at that time, who's that?
It was they.
Well, I'm just talking about Clear, but Woody Cunningham
from Baltimore.
was from Baltimore.
Ooh, he was a drummer.
Yeah. And so they were our backup bands, but they were so good is that, back then you did 2 sets in most clubs, you did 2 sets. And between sets, either your band played or the DJ play music.
Yeah, they started disco.
Well,
That's before
our
disco.
band did their own thing and continued, and they started writing songs. Then they changed their name to Pipeline, and from Pipeline they changed their name to Clear. And they parted, and they stayed in New York. And we continued on, but to this day we're like brothers. And so I can honestly say we basically put that group together. That they get Paul Crutchfield out of New York, and Paul was a bouncer. I mean, a bouncer in the club in New York.
Was he what?
Yeah, he was a bouncer in the Ed. But now at this particular club that we used to perform, our manager used to own in New York called the Ed. They used to bring in acts, and I remember there was an act there called Chocolate Syrup.
I remember chocolate syrup.
Chocolate Syrup. So they would come down the club and they would perform. And this guy would sing, little short guy, had a mouth this big on, could sing his butt off. Okay. So he was singing, okay, fine. And about 10 years later, I see the same little big mouth guy singing with the Dramatics, L.J. Reynolds.
That's right.
That's who he used to sing with Chocolate.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I just got away from we were talking about with the album, how we get these names, etc.
Well, where was the album shot, man? Where was this taking place?
That was in
Fort Lauderdale.
Palm Beach.
Yeah, Pompano Beach and Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. The one on the wall. Huh?
Did you all have any influence on as far as your album cover? I know you have any input in terms of the music that you selected or sang, but did you have any input on the album cover?
Not really, just the photographer. We got an article on the Top of Clear album. There was an article and I think there's a book that's called "What Funk and Soul of the '70s" that has on page 131 exactly. There's an article about the Choice 4, and that's in the Smithsonian Institute and African American and Cultural Center. So there's an article talks about the photographer and how he worked magic with his fisheye lens.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. We didn't have any input on the design of album covers.
We didn't have input with him because
he
RCA sent him down. We were performing in Pompano Beach and Fort Lauderdale, and they sent him down. We had a chance to meet him and conversate with him, and they flew him down, and
he did all the photography.
He just came up with it. He said, "Well, you know what? I have this fisheye lens," and Ted and I especially were into photography because we had these great 35 millimeter cameras, so we were into that. So when he mentioned fisheye lens, we knew exactly what he was talking about.
Okay.
And it came out beautiful. It did.
Yeah. All right. I had another shot I was trying to get
to. Don't mind him. You know what? That picture there?
Who's that?
That's Petey and I when we sang with Damon Harris's Temptations review. Right?
That's after the Choice.
Yeah, this is after the Choice. There's some things we did after. We continued. Me and Petey continued our career after that, and that's what singing with Damon. And then Petey started singing with Glenn Leonard's Temptations.
Okay. Seems like there's always a Temptation connection, with DC Baltimore.
Right. Because Joe Herndon, he sang with the Temptations. Matter of fact, Joe and I was up with Damon, and we were singing with Damon Harris's Temptation. Then he left and went with Glenn Leonard. This is Joe Herndon, but then I just continued and I started singing with. I ran the Ollie Woods came here. He put me with Nate Evans' Temptations review.
Well, he was one of my favorite Temptations, man, Ollie.
Oh,
Wally?
McCoy. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
definitely.
I
He's a
mean,
great vocalist.
I mean,
Let me ask you
especially
guys
the
a
way.
question.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you guys a question. Did you see any similarity between the Choice 4 and Temptations?
Saw some, but
I
I
think
mean, I think every group
vocally, yeah.
had its distinction.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Because we were
I sort
trying
of
to be
saw it.
original. That's what we did.
I think both sort of heard a similarity. I noticed, just like you were saying, you had different lead vocals, and that I
Mm-hmm.
appreciated about the group because it wasn't just one lead all the time, and
Right.
that was the
And
same case with the Temps.
That's true. That's true.
exactly,
That is a
and
similarity.
that's where we basically got that from because we didn't want to be a
The
one lead,
Temptations had that.
yeah,
And
or
Drew.
one lead. And Van also he touched too. We didn't want to be stuck into that position where we had that one dimensional sound.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just the back then most of your acts were doing ballads, okay, and the swoop songs, but he wanted us to be because he knew that we were a highly choreographed group. He made records that basically would fit us,
Mm-hmm.
up tempo songs, and so that was right on time when the disco era came in, like "Come Down to Earth." Everybody's got a story. These are songs from our album.
Also, people compared us to the OJs, believe it or not, because of, the hard working. Nobody worked as hard as the Choice 4 or the OJs for that matter. They're hard working and high energy. Yeah, that's why they compared us to the OJs.
I
Well,
know I used to get you guys confused with Natural Four when it
With
came out.
whom?
That's the Natural Four. That just the
Oh,
name. I
really?
used to get yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah.
the sound, but just the name used to throw me off because they had that
Right.
song. Can this be real? The love for you. I thought that was you guys initially.
Mhm.
It's funny you bring that up because James, who is one of the members of the Natural Four, he and I are good friends, and we played a lot when I was down in Atlanta because he lives down in that area. As a matter of fact, he lives in Atlanta, and and like I said, they were on Curton Records. They were discovered by Curtis Mayfield.
Right, right.
But
Mhm.
yeah, man. Hey, man. This is how this music industry is. What's that? What you looking at?
I was listening to you all.
But this is this. I mean, I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
Yeah, this is really nice.
This bring back some fond memories.
Well, Ted, you know how long I've been trying to get you to do this,
Yes, 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 yes.
and I'm so honored
We
to have you. So honored to have you
yeah,
guys.
yeah, man. I
Thank you so
I'm gonna
much.
tell you what I do remember. We were like again. I'm going back to the Dells, and they knew that we were new and upcoming. But the guy told us the story about what they went through, and they was talking about how at one time they was performing somewhere, and I think one of the guys came in and that they held a guy outside the hotel window. You know. Now I
Like the
listened to
five
this.
beats.
Well, hold, let me get to it now. So, so, so now this was years and years, and then about maybe maybe I don't know, 10 years or whatever after that, I'm looking at this movie. Now all I knew was what's the name of that? Five Heartbeats.
Five heartbeats. Yeah.
Right now I'm listening, looking at this movie, and then all of a sudden I see this scene where the guy's outside the window. I said, "Wait a minute, hold it." I said, "The guy." I remember somebody telling me something like this. And didn't realize until after the movie that they were emulating the five heartbeats, emulating the Dells.
Well,
And then when I saw that scene, and then at the end of it, they showed a picture of the Dells. And I said,
They
"Yeah, I
did.
heard that. Told me that story before the movie even came out."
Mhm.
yeah.
That's a
Well, they
good
were
one.
advisors to the movie. I understand.
I didn't know it. I didn't know until the movie was over. I said, "Oh, they told us that story." But man, I tell you, man, being on that road, it's a learning experience. It's so historic. Just listen to some of the different acts and they're pioneers in the industry, and they can. It's just amazing to sit down and listen to these guys. It's so experienced. Um,
You know,
Well, I
one.
hope you guys caught the tail end of the chilling circuit.
yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now you want to go there?
No,
You want to tell the circuit?
Florida, yeah,
Let me tell you,
South Carolina.
Coco Lounge.
Well, that's DC.
Coco Lounge. Oh yeah. Now
The
that's
seventh and eighth. The seventh and eighth.
yes. And, and what they call the chilling circuit is paying your dues.
Yeah. Well, I remember my uncles used to hang out down in Lockley. I used to live a few blocks from it. You know.
Right.
Because I told you, I grew up in the same area with Charles Blackman. I mean, like
Where's the Coco Lounge?
13th and D.
No, Coco Lounge was what eighth and eighth?
No, eighth and
No.
eighth.
Eighth and eighth, yeah.
Eighth and eighth. Round corner from Waxy Maxon.
Yeah. Okay.
Right on
man.
the corner, eighth and eighth.
Hey, look, you had
Stylistic
you had the room. You know, what's that place up on Joe Avenue?
Oh yeah.
What we used to play up there? I forget the name of it.
Name also.
But yeah, hey,
Georgia and New Hampshire.
that's where you get it in.
Creambow Palace.
Oh man, come on,
Oh,
man.
Ibex.
You sang at Ibex, you name it. Oh yeah. Oh man. That's what you mean. All these groups, they could tell you about the different chitlin circuits, right? Because that's where you got get your bones, and let's make our bones right here in the chitlin circuit. Then we're gonna move on up. And it would, man, you don't know how it feels coming from the chitlin circuit, and then you go from there and then go to like Constitution Hall.
Wow.
Or the Mark IV at the time, because the chitlin circuit was kind of dying out then.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just in DC.
No, you can chitlin circuits all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
But and the thing about it, you people in other countries, say in Europe and on the international level, they can really respect and accept your music, where some places right here in the United States don't.
Right.
So, what's your favorite international spot that you guys were on?
Well, me personally, I love Paris. Now this is a choice for. They went to Guam and
Far East.
Yeah, Far East. Yeah,
Far
right.
Eastern tour with Van McCoy.
Oh yeah, and all down in
Mexico,
down in the Bahamas and all down in there. Islands.
Malaysia, Japan, Thailand. Oh, we sang for the Princess of Thailand, and that was a great experience. It was like a Constitution Hall kind of setup, and there were 3 sections on the floor. And the first show we did, all 3 sections were full. But the second show we did, when the Princess came, they removed all of the seating from the center of the auditorium, and they placed one throne in the place of all of that seating. And that was a great experience. And when we came out, it kind of shocked us. The Princess was sitting in all that space, sitting in the throne. And after the concert, after we completed our show, we were introduced to the Queen's court and all that. And we had, they kind of explained some of the etiquette to us and tell us, don't reach out and touch her, and don't do this and don't do that. And approaches you, let her approach you and all that. That was great.
Yeah, that happened in a lot of different countries. You can't approach them. That's kind of how you acted when you was out there. Don't touch me. No, that's him.
Ted and I I'm telling you, man, we had the greatest friendly rivalry that ever. We at it all the time, every day, every minute. We were at each other. You know, who done the choreography the best and all this, man. It was great. We had a lot of that because we pushed each other. We pushed the heck out of each other, and we would come off stage and say, "Well, Ted, I think I was outstepping you tonight, brother."
No.
and, and if you said something like Ted would immediately respond, "You must be crazy."
but be all honest, man, I'm gonna tell you, greatest dancer in our group as a dancer was Charles Blackman. Go Charlie. Charlie, I think he was the best dancer in the city at that time.
He was the most visible.
Oh man, that boy, that's
him
him right there.
Yeah, he can go.
That man had impeccable timing, man.
He can go.
And he was so talented. So talented.
Well, I went to Lovejoy with his brother, and like all of us used to look up to Charlie, man. Charlie was just like that dude that everybody looked. He's just so cool. Everybody looked up to Charlie, man. You know, I mean, really. Charles.
So
Black.
we talking
taste of clothes as well.
We were talking about your choreography, and also I asked you about your creative input in the music. What about your wardrobe? Did you all decide what you wear on stage, or was that decided for you?
No, Ted did all that. Ted drew all of our outfits for stage. Then we found different tailors.
Yeah.
And in Baltimore, for instance, we found a tailor, and he made a lot of our outfits because Ted would tell him what we wanted.
Yeah.
Then we wanted a cape, we wanted this long, and then we wanted something that looked like tails, like the red and white outfit that we wanted.
All of them.
All of that.
I just
satin, and
I just sit at the table and I draw them up and take it to our tailor seamstress, and this is it.
And a lot of people don't know this about Ted, but I've always told him that he could have been a really great artist if he wanted to be. He done some really nice paintings when he was. Yeah. This guy done some great paintings. No. He could draw anything.
I think the sports got in the way of that, Bobby. Bobby, the sports got in the way of him becoming an artist.
Oh, they got in the way of a lot. Some rehearsals too sometimes.
And the sad part, I can't give up this sports. I'm still doing this sports thing even at my old age. I feel it when I come home, but I feel it at the end of the day.
Well, you had to go to batting practice before you got in today, right?
Yeah, I went to batting practice, and then
he needs to practice.
I'm taking up a new dance, Chicago stepping. So I'm trying to do that. I need to slow my butt down. I just stay too big.
Hey man, stay active. Stay active. Because I don't know if the group saw this one of you and Gene Kahn.
Oh yeah. You know what? We were performing. This is another group. Matter of fact, we were doing a tribute to Billy Stewart and Van McCoy. So
this is at
the National Library downtown, Martin Luther King Library. Mm-hmm. And so I got some guys together, and I said, well, we'll represent and sing some of the Choice 4 songs, because you had some guys there that was representing Billy Stewart and his family. And so we matter of fact, it's on YouTube also. It's called Tribute to Billy Stewart
and Van McCoy.
It's on YouTube. But while we were there, they just had Gene Kahn was there, and also Herb Fain. And we sat there. We had a ball. We sang a little bit. The three of us. It was really nice. But that's what that picture was all about. There they are, right there. And that daggone
that's nice.
That daggone Herb is something else, man.
Who is that?
That's Herb Fain.
Oh, okay.
And Gene Kahn.
Right.
Oh, I went to see Gene Kahn at Blues Alley not too long ago. She is she's a terrific entertainer.
Oh, wow.
even at her age.
Yeah.
Beautiful. She knows the business. Trust me.
She sang at Miss Heath's funeral.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey
But
guys,
yeah,
Greg and I had on this guy Sidney Bonds, who used to sing with Herb and Van McCoy.
Oh, okay.
You familiar with Sidney Bonds?
no.
I heard the name.
The male lead singer for Rotary Connection. That's the group that
Wait a
Minnie
minute.
Riperton started with.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, like Sidney was on here. Matter of fact, Greg was at our third show we did.
I think it was the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was third show, and like he grew up in. He was born in West Virginia, but he grew up in D.C. Went to Douglas Junior High School, and Herb
Okay.
went to Douglas with him, and they were in several groups with Van. They said they liked Van because Van had the piano.
Oh yeah. No. Van, I didn't know like Van and Marvin Gaye, they
Yeah.
were good buddies
Yep.
back in the
Yeah,
day.
both from DC. Mhm.
Well, as a matter of fact, Sidney talked about all of the talent shows they all be in.
Uh-huh. See, I didn't know anything about Van until I met Van. And then after that, I heard about all the great things he's done. And I know one song that I didn't know he had wrote was "Giving Up."
By
Giving
Gladys,
up.
Gladys Knight of
Yo,
Pills.
I didn't know that. I did not know
Yeah.
that, man.
Yeah.
That's one song that did we ever do that song? "Giving Up."
Giving up.
It's hard to do.
Oh,
Should
yeah.
have.
And look, and don't forget Brendan Tabulation.
Oh, they from
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right on the tip of my tongue.
yeah. With,
That was all
with
Van.
that, they from DC?
They were
Oh,
from
they,
DC.
oh,
but
Van did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that.
Oh,
He did. Mhm.
okay.
I picked that
And
up.
of course, the presidents, that sound.
Yeah.
You could,
Well, I know he did. I know he did a new song for Anacostia.
yeah. Wasn't the Anacostia was some of the presidents, right?
believe so.
I think so. I know.
President.
Sinclair,
Sinclair, yeah.
Robert Sinclair. He sang with the presidents and
Auntie
Anacostia.
Carl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the song? 5, 10, 15, 20?
Yeah, 5,
No.
10, 15, 25
Yeah.
years of love.
25, 30.
But they did also did On and Off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now-
on and off.
now- Yeah, Robert Sinclair. He led that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you know any of those? Are those guys still around?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sinclair's around.
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Put me in
I
touch with the presidents, man. Can you put me in touch with the president?
It should be able.
All I know is I can get in contact with Robert Sinclair.
Yes,
That's fine.
He can tell you.
Hey, look, any contact is great, bro.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I would do that. I definitely would do that.
One thing.
Yeah, matter of fact, I will call him tonight and let him know.
Okay.
And give you his numbers, and y'all can go with that.
Now, I want to appeal to anybody who's watching this. If you guys went to any of the Choice 4 shows and have any photos you can share, because, hey, we need to continue building this library of photos because it's hard finding photos from that time, man. I'm telling you.
It's growing.
Yeah, but I was real surprised when the guy sent you those. I never seen those photos before. The
Well,
ones
that
you
was
just.
Augie Ockburn. Augie used to shoot a lot of entertainment shots, so,
Wow, boy!
Promotional shots.
If there's anybody else out there that have any, just send them in, because I'm on short time on this life of mine. So I'd like to get a view on them before I go out of here.
Right. And you know what? We got to do more of this because we are the eyewitnesses to this music and everything that was happening during that time, and we at least want to have make some homage to those people who are around to remember it.
Mhm.
So that's why it's so important that we continue to archive and do what we're doing. And
I'd like to give a shout out to all the artists that are still now performing, and even the young artists and the artists of that pioneered here in Washington D.C. and give them the utmost respect for what they've done
yes,
for our city and what they're still doing.
yes,
So to all you entertainers from the DMV,
Shout out from your choice
Do
for.
what you gotta do. What you gotta do.
DC, Baltimore, and even Richmond.
Right. You know, I don't know. I didn't know too many acts coming out of Richmond back then.
Well, Lonnie Liston
But I
Smith.
know who. Lonnie
Liston
Liston. You're performing Lonnie Liston Smith. Right. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, man, I love this, man. Maybe we could do a part 2 something.
Anytime you're ready, brother.
You know.
Anytime you're
Sound
ready. You know, now you guys are our first DC vocal group. So
All
we're
right.
just getting started with this. So, you know, you guys are our first vocal group. So we spoke to the Unifics, so hopefully we can get that happening soon. But Bobby, I
Are you
definitely
guys
need, what's that?
Facebook?
Funk and Soul
What is it?
covers?
Yes, Funk and Soul covers of the 70s.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have
It's a
to
pretty
pick that
thick
up.
book, man. It's like every artist is in here. A
So
lot
I'm
of
gonna
artists.
find that on Amazon. Can I get it from Amazon?
I think I'm sure you can.
Where'd you get yours?
Smithsonian,
Oh, you get it from Smithsonian.
I'll go down to Smithsonian. Hey, you
African
know,
American History Cultural Center.
I'll go there.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, look, that's where I'll get it then.
Yeah, I went down there and I said, "What?" And I opened. Well, somebody told me, I said, "Bobby, I saw your group, the group in a book," and we're on page 131.
Really? Yeah, sure. There we are.
But Ted, is that what you posted? Remember you said about a write-up about the choice for? Is that what you posted?
No, I have an article. I have an article
Okay.
that was
Cool.
I did an interview with that magazine.
Oh, I'm getting that, brother. I'm definitely getting that book soon. Greg, can you see it?
With
Yeah,
the
I can
fish
see it, yeah.
names, with that famous fish island.
I can't read it, but I can see it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't either, but I can see it.
If I send it to you, then you can blow it up and read it.
No, I'm gonna get my own, brother. But look, don't let that book get out of your hand, man. You might not get it back. You know,
That's right.
don't lend it out. Now, I do need some scans of some of those photographs. Yeah, some high quality scans.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, like, I even front you the funds for it. You take it to Kinko's and have them scan it for you. You know.
Well, I scanned some at the CVS actually. They have a machine.
CVS, wherever. Hey, look, anything is better than what I have.
But,
Now,
okay.
I can restore anything that you have. If you got some stuff, old stuff that need to be restored, I can hook you up. But hey, man, this has been great, man. I mean, really.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you guys got a chance to meet Greg.
Greg, you the man.
Out of the choice for when he was out there. I mean, out of the classics. At the classics. Did you ever?
We probably
They probably Tiffany.
No, we sang not Tiffany's. We sang at the classics with the Barcades.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
He came in New York with these as well.
Yeah, we sang with the Barcades.
But
They
let me
stole
just
one
say,
of my guitar players.
I just
Well,
got
that's
to
what they
tell you
did, man.
guys,
They came and stole all the DC talent.
You know they had Vernon Birch.
I know. I remember.
Oh, I forgot about Vernon.
Yeah, Vernon passed. What about?
He passed about what 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. I went to his
Oh, I thought it was longer than that. And then
No. I just went to Vernon Birch's passing about maybe 4 months ago.
Okay.
Out here right out here in Capitol Heights somewhere.
Wasn't he preaching or something? He was doing religious music mostly.
Vernon?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know he was singing with the young senators. I mean, playing with the young senators for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I think him and Jimmy Dugan are cousins.
Okay. Now, did you know Skip Pitts?
That name sounds familiar.
He's the one who did the wah wah solo on Shaft.
Oh, I heard about it. He's from DC.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
His uncle used to own the Pitts Motor Inn.
Okay. We sang up there too.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Look. We sang up there. That's where Walter Jackson discovered us.
Okay, at the Pitts Motor Inn.
So, he had that
at
at the Pitts Motor Hotel.
Yeah, Pitts Motor.
So we were singing up there, and Walter Jackson, he was going to perform up there. So we were doing Just My Imagination by the Temptations. So Walter Jackson had this great baritone voice of his. So he's gonna show Bobby how he should sing "Just My Imagination," right?
You should cover this from the beginning.
So you know, Eddie Kendricks did that in his beautiful falsetto, and Bobby was singing it in his falsetto natural.
No such thing as falsetto natural.
Well,
Either
no,
false or you're natural.
no, it's like right in between. Okay, whatever. And so he showed Bobby how to sing it, and so he's singing like in operatic type. Each day through my window, I watch her. I'm like, and so Bobby Gatlin did it that night, and we said, "What the hell are you doing?" That was so funny. That was at the Pittsmotor Hotel, and then what's the other place down there? Jimmy McPhail.
Oh, Jimmy McPhail, yeah. Oh no,
that's on Blakeburg.
It was on Blakeburg Road, yeah.
Right.
Okay, whose club was right there across from down there from Harrison?
Ed Murphy.
Ed Murphy, yeah.
Yep, Ed Murphy.
Ed Murphy. Yep, Ed Murphy.
That was great. What's the name of the club on Kenilworth Avenue? It was a small club.
Parkway.
It may have. I forgot the name.
It's Parkway
it's
Garden.
in between East Capitol and Eastern Avenue.
East Capitol and Eastern. Was it Squire Run?
There was no club down there, East Capitol. No, in East Capitol Street.
No, in between. It was on Kenilworth Avenue. In between East Capitol and Eastern, right in the middle.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we sang that. I think it was they converted it to a club or something
maybe
like that.
Was it. Okay.
I'm not talking about the Quonset. I mean, not the Quonset. I'm thinking about Benning Road. I'm thinking about Benning Road.
I know we sang Captain Jack's.
Oh,
Captain Jack.
The Chateau.
I forgot to tell you that Captain Jack was our debut.
Yeah, Captain Jack's was
our debut, and it was on the.
It was right. It was on Coral Hill. Right there.
Captain Jack's. I know a Captain Jack's. Yeah.
Captain Jack's is top of the hill.
Down in the basement.
And then it turned to Marlboro Pike.
Right.
Yeah.
Captain Jack's. Yeah, that was our debut.
I mean, it was just before you got to Iverson Mall.
Yes. Oh no! You wait from there. No.
Yeah,
Captain Jackson's. You go straight
Marlboro Pike.
Go straight on out Bennings Road till it ends. I mean, Bennings Road. Then you go up the hill.
You're right. I'm thinking about Branch Avenue. You're right.
Right there, Marlboro. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like as soon as you pass, it was past Ridge Road.
Exactly.
Right. And it was just before you got to Pennsylvania Avenue, whatever that little intersection.
So you could take a right and it turned to Alabama Avenue.
Right.
But if you kept straight up Benning Road, it ended at the top of the hill.
Marlboro Pike.
It was almost like it was Marlboro Pike and Southern Avenue, right close to.
Right.
Yeah. I'm in that area right there.
Right there. I know exactly where it was.
That was our debut.
Wow.
Oh man, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. Yeah, boy. I had talked to Greg Cook, and I got to get in contact with him because he was going through some issues medically.
Really?
Yeah, and I like to give my condolences and my well wishes to him. I hope
well, I tried to call him a couple of times. LeBron had given me a number, and I've been trying to reach him because I want to just get his voice. We don't know if
I'll try to get in contact with him.
Okay,
that's my buddy.
Because we're do the same thing with the Unifics we're doing with you guys. We'll do the same thing with the Unifics.
Yep, I don't know how you can get in contact with Michelle.
LeBron can get in touch with him.
Okay,
he spoke with him the other day, so he can get in touch with him. But hey, man, like this has been a pleasure, man. Like having you guys on.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you. Appreciate working with you.
Yeah.
Let me just say before we go, I really have respect for you guys. I loved the music back in the day. You're So Right for Me. That was my song.
That's your favorite.
I loved your version of When You're Young and in Love, and like I was telling Grover earlier, it's just an honor for me to be a part of this and to have you. And that's the thing, Grover and I, we do these things because we want to like the people who meant something to Washington D.C. And you guys really a big part of the history of this city. And Grover and I just want to thank you for all your contributions musically and everything you've done.
And
Thank you so
I
much.
always be tied to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Just
We
fortunate to
we go back. We get history.
yeah, to just be connected, and I don't know, just to have been around when you guys made your first recording. I feel honored to have been there.
Yeah, you were there.
But Ted, I got to give you this tribute here. I gotta show you sports. I mean,
that's me. What's it? That's me. 1, 2, 3. Fourth one up. Fourth row up on the right.
Okay.
I think the Olympics I can see. Well, yep, fourth one up.
On the end?
On the end.
All right.
Eastern.
Where are you, Ted?
Is it Petey on that same row? Is that Petey?
Petey is one.
There he is.
Yeah, he's
on the row as Ted.
Right.
We're going from left to right. Petey's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fifth.
Fifth or is it fourth?
No, from the left.
From you is fifth.
Right.
What about Alonzo Hart? Where is he?
Alonzo Hart is right. If you go all the way to looking at it from the front left, he is 1, 2, 3 rows. I would say 3 from the top.
3 from the top.
Right.
Okay. That's Alonzo right there, isn't it?
Yes, Alonzo right here. Yeah, Alonzo Hart sang with he sang with the Stradales.
Right.
Okay, two over from me. That's Jerry Cummins. He sang with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he
Okay.
sang with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Okay.
So what's Alonzo's number? Can you see his number?
I can't see his number, but he's passed away.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and matter of fact, the guy at the very top, behind 2 up behind Alonzo, he just passed away last week. I gotta go to his funeral. Larry Wheeler. Sorry, we're leaving here like this.
Yeah, man, that's what we gotta get. I'm glad we got these voices, man.
Yeah.
I mean, kids can read about you guys, but hey, when they can actually see you and hear you, man, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, but look. Okay, I think I was pretty good. And at this sport here, I played. I was a good football player. Some great things, but let me tell you, to this day, we were playing McKinley Tech, and I came back across the back of the end and dropped the pass right in the end zone because I looked up and you remember Curtis Thompson played with the.
I remember playing running back. He came before me, but I remember his name, man, Curtis Thompson.
He was like a pro in high school. He had that size. He's about 6'3", 230, running back. I'm gonna tell you, played behind him. Lonnie Perry played behind him. How good he was.
I was there when Lonnie was there. Lonnie was a year ahead of me.
Okay,
so
well,
I was there when Lonnie was there.
Right. Well, anyway, Lonnie Perry played behind Curtis Thompson.
Well,
and
Curtis was that good, then I can see.
Oh, Curtis, he was phenomenal.
I never saw him play, but I just heard about him.
Anyway, I looked over because he's playing live. I'm coming across, and I took my eye off the ball, and I dropped it. And to this day, here it is, 60 years later, Ted, we could have went to the championship if you had a court ball. I mean, to this day, and I'm like, come on, man, what about all the rest of the great catches and touchdowns they made? They said, Ted, that don't mean nothing. You dropped that one pass, and I love it. And, I just have a great time. It's just so much memories in that. But we did go to championship.
I used to see you along the street, man, and you was going trying out for something, man. I mean, like some football league. I used to see you, man. You was always some sport, man.
And I done tried out for 2, 3, 4 different NFL teams. I signed with the Redskins.
I remember
in
that.
7. Signed with them. I signed with the Giants in 81 as a wide receiver. And it's just things I look back on and said, hey, I give it. So now I'm out there at my age playing baseball. At my age, and I feel it when I come home at night. Oh God! But no,
But at least you're
I
doing
just
it,
say,
brother. At least you're doing it,
yeah,
and that's what's
life
important.
life is too short, man, and I'm just trying to keep my health as much as possible.
Yeah.
And
But we definitely, man, appreciate you guys coming on, sharing your stories, your memories. Uh, because as we always say, man, I mean, the 70s, the late 60s and the 70s up to the mid 70s was just a
mhm.
magical time in this city. I mean, there was somebody coming to town like every other day. There was young people playing music, Sun the Parks, Showmobile, Ambassadors,
Oh
Anacostia
yeah.
Park. I mean, there was just so much music out there, man. You know,
Well, hey, let me tell you, those are good times. I'm not saying that these kids today they have their good times, their way of having good times, and back then, but it was not that much violence involved in what we did. You know,
The music today is great. So that's some
you know,
deep
what I
that
don't
have
like,
developed as well.
is that you can be riding down the street and you got your windows down and you're elderly folks, and these young folks are pulling up there playing all this music with all the language with it, and they're playing it all loud. I'm like, oh, kids in the car. I don't like that disrespect to the elders, should I say?
Well, I think it's part of their growth as well. They've gone away from a lot of that now. Because
No,
Ice T was accused of slandering the police department and urging people to fight with the police and
but
everything.
I'm
So
talking.
it's kind of part of their
I'm
growth
speaking.
because they've moved into an area where their artistry improves, the music improves,
Well, all this,
and like the
all these.
technology.
I'm gonna be very very blunt with it. Bitches and hoes and that type of thing. You know, it's too glamorified with the bling blings, and it's not a reality to a lot of people, and it gives them the idea. Well, how can I get what they've got? Sing,
Right.
and, it sometimes it can be a bad influence, but
And I kind of think they're going away from it though, because like I think the industry or they're going away from there and they're pointing at like Bruno Mars.
yo, he's great.
He's
He's
great.
a consummate inside. He's
This
phenomenal.
what
guy's
do you think of
great.
Bruno Mars? How do you like him as an artist? I mean, like, I think he's one of the few that's taking it forward, man. I mean,
I
Yes.
can't, my only thing is I can't tell, like we were talking about earlier, if it's technology, how much technology is
I think he's
involved
one
with.
who can do it without the technology.
You think
He
so?
does it with
That's what a lot of
that
people
boy
say.
is so talented.
I'm not so sure.
Oh no, I know he
I saw,
does.
I saw Bruno live at the MGM when he was here, and he
Okay,
was phenomenal. I mean,
yeah,
there was
yeah,
no auto tunes. He was a musician. He could sing. He could dance. He was a
that's
total
right.
package. I think of all of the artists, the new artists out there now, I agree with Grover. For me personally, it's like Bruno, man. He at least he is a musician.
And then you add Anderson Park.
And,
What's his?
and can
And
sing his
Anderson,
butt off.
yeah, Anderson too. Yeah.
He can sing his butt off.
Have you heard him? I want to
Yeah.
hear him sing Fellow.
Oh shoot, he can tear that
I
up.
want to hear it.
He can
I've
sing.
seen
And
I've seen
and,
Yeah,
and that new
he's
group
real good.
what's that group that he sings with now? Or
Silk Sonic.
he's
Silk
bringing
Sonic.
up.
Silk Sonic.
Woo, Silk Sonic. Oh my God, that
Yeah,
video
him
they
and
had.
Anderson Park.
That's
I
my
mean,
favorite.
Oh man, Subsonic.
They're great, man, but they emulating the past. They got a lot of
But
that's
that's
okay.
good
people.
though.
That's good.
There's a
They're
lot of
bringing it
people
forward. They're
voices
bringing it forward.
That's good. That's good.
So they're supposed to be good. They look
It's
at Temptation,
very
they look
clean.
at us, they looking at all these artists from the past.
No,
And,
I mean, I can clearly see the influences. I can see James. I can see Prince. I can see Michael. I can see, I mean, all kinds of folk, man.
yeah, they're pulling from everybody.
Jackie
Yeah.
Wilson.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
And then he
But
can
the one
sing
thing I
and play.
What's that?
appreciate about Bruno is that he at least acknowledges the people who he stole from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He acknowledges the people that he doesn't try to act like he came up with by himself. He understands that
Right.
you know there are other people that had this music before, and he tribute to these people through his own music. That's what I really appreciate about him.
Did you see this? This I don't know. It's a video that he put out. Oh, this concert. I think it's on Netflix or one of them, where he did it in New York, and I think he did a free concert, giving out the different tickets to the show. He went around the neighborhoods, and it was so nice. It's on Netflix or YouTube, but it is, man. You gotta see it. You gotta see it. That man is. I'm gonna say it's like he's phenomenal. Phenomenal. To me, he is the future of music.
No
All right, guys.
All right, Bobby.
It's
Ted,
wonderful.
you know, we have never got out of here under an hour, so you guys are in good company. But that's what happens when you just having a conversation. This was just a conversation, and that's what we need to welcome more. Just music conversations. So I really appreciate this, guys.
And if it's someone or some act that I didn't give homage to, I like to say I'm old. I can't remember everybody. Okay.
What's the cliche count?
Well, Ted, they can always put it in the chat. They can put it in the chat later.
Man, I just love the industry. Yeah. I love the music. I love to watch the people that put the time in it, because what you put in it is what you get out of it.
Yes.
And that's a word to the wise. Yes. What you put in it,
well, they're working hard.
Is what you get out of it.
Hard. They're working hard.
Just remember that, young kids.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
And if we miss anything, like Ted was saying, count it to our heads and not to our heart. That's a cliche for the young folks to pick up on.
All right. All right, guys. Look, you guys hang in there, and DC is always proud of you. Easton proud of you, I'm sure. You guys go up in Northeast DC? Where'd you guys go?
Northeast.
Northeast, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so did I. So
I'm originally from Southeast. I lived on Capitol Hill in Southeast.
Well, I moved to Southeast later, but I grew up in Capitol Hill when Capitol Hill was the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to a school they used to call Harbor Hines Junior High School.
Okay. You went to Hines? And I went to Elliott. Then
they went to Elliott.
I came up on the hill over here, Brown Junior High.
Okay.
Charles Young.
With Roberta Flack.
Oh, yeah, Roberta Flack. She was our music.
Special, Greg, he saw it before I did. I saw it the other day. I watched it the other day.
What?
Roberta Flack special on PBS.
Oh, I missed it.
It's still on.
I wonder because she used to be my music teacher over Brown Junior High.
Well, that's an honor, man, to have studied
the music.
Yeah. I heard she was a little sick for a minute. I don't know if she recovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you ever have fun with her?
No. All I remember her.
She was your teacher.
What did I?
Yeah, I thought you said bond.
You said you have a bond with her?
No. Did you ever perform?
Oh, no. Remember, she was always at Mr. Henry's, and that's even while she was teaching. She was going, and I guess on the weekend, performing at Mr. Henry's.
Wow.
Along with what's his name?
Donnie
Hathaway.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Well, they went to Howard together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Donnie arranged some of the Unific songs. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Yep.
Well, that's something Greg can, when you interview him, he can bring that up.
Yeah.
But I am in contact with him and let you know. And also Robert Sinclair of Anacostia and what's the Independence? Not the Independence. President.
Okay. Yeah. All right, cool, bro. Well, Bob, you can hook me up on the photos. And,
okay.
Ted, you can hook me up on the contacts.
Got you.
All right, guys. Hey, look, you guys have it. Hey, look, if I look tired, I am, man. I mean, like, I ain't getting no sleep last night. I was running a slideshow up to 2 o'clock in the morning. And
you did a phenomenal Greg, man, it's nice meeting you.
Yep, thank
I
you.
look forward
Nice
to
meeting you guys.
meeting you. Maybe we can all sit down and have a burger or something.
Yeah.
It'll be on him. Bobby will pay for it.
All right.
We'll put it on his credit card. Oh,
And-
since it'll be his credit card, let's try Blue Dolphin or something like that.
I got you. Well, look, before we go, we definitely want to give homage to Charles, to Petey, and Van.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No
And anybody
question.
else that you can think of? Oh, Bruce. You said Bruce and Lonzo.
Oh yeah, Bruce. Definitely Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah. The brothers is gone for forever. That's it.
Well, you guys are the eyewitnesses who were around them and, have the memories of them. And you can still share some of those stories with everybody.
All right.
That's the best.
Yeah. So, all right, guys.
All right.
I'm
All
going
right, thank you,
Peace.
guys. Thanks,
to
Greg.
go to bed.
All right.
And
Take care.
all right.
All
Take care now.
All right.
All right.
You guys take care.
All right.
Hey,
everybody.
this is on YouTube, right?
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
YouTube. So you can go back and
Okay,
watch
so-
it.
What?
So it's going to be under.
What? What's the
Conversation
call?
Conversation
with
with
the
the
choice
choice
four.
4.
Oh yeah, right there.
Oh,
Just search that. You should find it. A conversation with the choice 4.
All
Okay,
right.
then.
All right.
take
Just get
care.
ready for- All right,
All right,
man.
fellas.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Later on.
Bye.
All right.